everybody, thanks for watching. This is actually, I'm doing a redo on this video because I watched the other video all the way through, and the actual thing that like made that video a little longer than what it should have been was I got a phone call literally in the middle of it, and I was talking about, ironically, I was talking about a phone call. Well, multiple phone calls. Well, let me set this story up. I mean, and this is truly ignorant. And the only thing I would have probably done different is the last call that I talked to this person at, I should have done like 4 or 5 phone calls prior, but where I was in the middle of doing stuff, I just couldn't get around to it until then. This incident started or happened 10 years ago to me. And this happened back when I was living with my parents. It happened on a Wednesday. And I know it was a Wednesday because Mom and Dad were at work when it happened to me. And I mean, this is truly stupid. I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, it just happened to me. What happened is, and I've got to frame this for you. Mom and Dad's phone number is apparently one number different, like the last 4 numbers, like, and if you dial an American phone number, it's, area code like 859, and then, the prefix for the town, and then, 4 digits. Apparently, the 4 digits, one of those 4 digits is one number different from whatever the hair place is for my parents. So you have to be careful if you're out that way where my parents live. You might accidentally call my parents' house if you're calling looking for this particular hair place. Well, what winds up happening this one particular day back in 2000, I was home at their house trying to get some laundry done and get, clean my stuff up in my room. No big deal. Well, and also, and I should mention this, back when my mom and dad first moved to their house, they would frequently, like, at least 10 to 12 times a day, at least, get phone calls looking for this hair salon. We'd be like, you called the wrong number, and they're like, okay, no problem, no big deal, bye, thanks for telling us, bye, click. Well, this particular Wednesday, I got 20 phone calls from the same guy looking for this hair salon, and he argued with me the whole time about it. Well, I mean, 4 times, and the last time I talked to him on the phone, I told him off. Basically, what happened is the first time he called, and he's like, yeah, can you, is this so-and-so, and can you tell me how long the wait is? I was like, sir, listen, you've called the wrong number. This isn't, the hair salon. I was like, I can't tell you how long the wait is because I don't know. I'm not there. I was like, you've called a private residence. And he's like, no, I called the right number. How long is the wait? I said, sir, what did I just tell you? You've called the wrong number, period. I can't tell you that information because I don't know that information. Have a nice day. Bye. Click. This guy called back 30 seconds later and says, I want to talk to your manager. And I said, sir, there's only one person here, and you're talking to this person. I go, you're talking to the one person that's here. I said, you've called the wrong number. I go, what part of the last conversation did you and I just have that you couldn't understand, that you called the wrong number? And he's like, you're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. I've called the right number. And I'm like, no, sir. Seriously, you've called the wrong number. And now, mind you, I kept my voice just like I said it to you here. It amazes me. This guy couldn't comprehend that he called the wrong number. He called, and I said, quit calling. Have a nice day. Bye. Click. He called back 30 seconds later, called me a stupid bitch, and demanded to talk to my manager because he needed to know how long the time was between haircuts, or when he'd be able to get his hair cut. And I said, sir, as I've told you in the last 2 conversations, you've called the wrong number, okay? I mean, that's not very complicated to understand. You've called the wrong number, period. Go find the right number for the hair salon you're looking for and call it. Seriously. Get the right number and call it. And he was just completely nasty to me on it. And like I said before, I should have just said to him, look, if you call back again, I'm going to call the cops on you and make you quit. I just didn't do that. I was like, the dryer had just clicked off, and I was like, I've got, better things to do. And I told him, I said, I have better things to do than argue with you. Quit calling. Okay? You've called the wrong number. I happened to be about 2 feet from Mom and Dad's answering machine. So I went over to their machine, flipped it to 2, because they have an option on their machine where you can do 2 for a toll saver. Most digital answering machines nowadays have that, of course. Well, I flipped it to 2. Right as I was flipping it to 2, he was calling. I go, and it immediately picked up and said, hi, you've called, and phone number. You'd have thought stupid would have figured it out. Apparently he was so moronic he couldn't understand plain English. And the guy spoke English just fine. You could tell he was as American as I am. I mean, apparently this guy couldn't get it through his thick head. You called, this phone number. Wrong phone number. Hello, quit calling. He called, like I said, a grand total of 20 times. I counted it on the caller ID. And what was worse is I had family members calling interspersed in between him calling and me trying to do the laundry and stuff, which made it even more complicated. I'd be getting into the washer or dryer, and I'd hear the machine going, and family members going, where are you? I know you're there. Pick up the phone. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of doing laundry. I can't answer the phone. My hands are full. And I'd be like, I'll call that person back. Fortunately, my parents at the time had a second line. I'd called the one family member back and said, listen, here's what's going on, just so you know. That's why I didn't answer. I said, when you called, I said, my hands were in the water. I go, putting clothes into the dryer. I was like, putting stuff in the dryer to dry it. I said, that's part of the reason why I didn't answer the phone. I said, I wasn't like I was avoiding you or something. I just couldn't answer the phone. I was like, my hands were full. I go, and I said, and they're like, why is the machine on 2 out there? I said, well, it's because I've got this moron calling. And right as I said, I got this moron calling, the moron called. But seriously, it's like I finally finished the laundry. And it was to the point where he'd called at that point, I'd say 17 or 18 times at that point. I picked up, it was 18 times at that point because I'd counted. He'd called twice while I was on the other line, on the main line, with a different family member and talked to him. And they said, what's going on with your phone? Why are you cutting out? I said, that idiot is calling again. I said, and that's the call call waiting, pushing his call through. I said, so I go, it can just ring and he'll quit. And he called back twice then. The 19th time I answered, and I was like, and I said, sir, you've got to seriously stop calling. You've called the wrong number. I thought you listening to the machine the first time you would have figured it out. And he called me horrible names like you effing bitch, you effing bitch. I want to talk to you. I want your, higher up's name and everything else. And I told him, I said, you retard. I said, you've called the wrong number. Take the hint. Bye. Click. And he immediately called back, and I yelled at him. I said, listen here, you dumb SOB. You effing dumb SOB. I said, you've heard the answering machine 15 times. I said, I've got caller ID on this phone here. I said, I can tell you've called a grand total of 20 times, counting this time here. I said, you've been told multiple times, hello, you've called phone number, and you've been told 4 times by me, you've called the wrong frickin' number. I said, what part of that did you have a difficult time understanding? I said, put it this way, if you call here again, I'll go, there's going to be somebody at your door wearing a police uniform, and it's going to be really a cop. I said, a police officer. I said, because I'm going to have you arrested for harassment. I said, because guess what? Not only do I have caller ID on this phone, but this is harassment. I said, and believe me, I'll be pressing charges and happy to do it. I said, because I have your name, your phone number, and your address. So if you want to press your luck and try it, go ahead and call back. I said, but you either stop calling or get arrested. Pick one, or I'll pick one for you, okay? So quit calling and call the right number if you're that stupid that you can't understand it. And I was yelling at the top of my lungs. And I hung up on him. The crazy thing is, 30 seconds later, the phone didn't ring. But anyway, I just wanted to share this stupid story with you. And I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.